From Carolla One Studios in Glendale, California, this is the Adam Carolla Show. Adam's guest today, Ian Bagg, with Gina on news and Bald Brian on sound effects. And now, even if you're black, it's a white privilege to listen to him. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to get on. A mandate. You get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We love that about you, right, Gina Grant?
That's right.
Handball, Brian.
Shit, yeah.
We're having some technical issues today, so we might not be able to play anything from the internet. I blame Max Zapata, who's decided that his musical career is more important than this podcast.
He left and took the router with him.
That should make him feel pretty good about himself. Look what happens when you're not here.
He is doing the jam in the van with Loxy, his band today. Had an opportunity to do that, so of course he leapt at it. It's an interesting thing these days.
What's that?
It's a new world order, I think, when it comes to employees. Back in the day, if something came up, such as I got to pick someone up from the airport, or I got to jam in a van,
for example,
and it happened to interfere with your workday, you would ask the boss if you could do this thing.
Yeah.
Versus say you will do this thing and inform the boss, I'm not going to be here.
Was that not asked? I'm taking from your tone that was not asked.
I was informed that he will not be here today.
Oh.
Okay.
By him.
Yeah.
But I was not asked.
Does it
Now,
make
the
you...
answer would be yes.
Right. And he knew that, so he could have maybe reversed the order.
Yeah, it's just an interesting mindset.
Here we go.
It's just a younger mindset versus the old school mindset.
I certainly don't want to date myself, but does it make you feel any better to know how I agonized over having to ask for time off so I could record Street Fighter?
Oh,
I agonized over it.
Good. I'm glad you're
I
miserable.
thought you'd
That's
like
all
that.
I asked.
Yeah.
Now, back in the day, when I used to work construction, pre-cell phones, we had an understanding. The understanding is you don't have to show up.
Right.
You just don't get paid.
Right.
Yeah.
And you were paid so little, you were kind of compelled to show up because you had to make rent. But it was never like there was no phone to call. So weirdly, if you just woke up Monday morning, I woke up one Monday morning, my truck had been stolen. There's nothing for me to do other than
Looks like Adam's hungover.
Couldn't send a missive.
go look for my. Two things can be true at the same time.
That's
I
true.
can be
That's
hungover
true.
and have my truck stolen.
Right.
It was back in the days when I had my fuel cutoff switch in the truck. So
Just pick a direction, start walking in a circle.
I didn't have to pick a direction. I knew what direction the truck was pointing. Because I parked it out on the street in front of my apartment, and I pulled in one direction,
Yeah.
and I knew.
You're like white trash Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, I knew. No shit, Dick Tracy, as my sister used to say.
Oh, that makes sense.
I knew what direction it would be pointing, so I knew whoever stole it is further that direction, so I didn't have to kind of scatter. And I also knew that if I did my job right and flipped the cutoff switch to the fuel pump, that there would be just enough fuel left in the float bowl of the carburetor, because back then the trucks were carbureted. You have a float bowl in your carburetor. You have a little cup.
Okay.
You have a little cup of gas.
Okay.
So if you have no gas in your car or the fuel's cut off, but you have a little bit in that float bowl, then, and you guys have experienced this in your old cars, you can turn the key and it'll catch.
Yes.
Like it'll go blah, 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 and you think it's running, and then it goes blah, 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 because no new fuel you burned up. I would always leave enough in there. I don't know. Tell me if you think this is weird. I started to pick points where I knew if I flipped the switch off at this stop sign,
I was just thinking the same thing.
that was one block off. I tested it. I could get
to your place.
two more blocks.
Yep,
right.
Yep.
Now, I didn't want it to be out of fuel when it was sitting where it's
No,
sitting.
you want that sweet spot of like just enough drops to get it going, right?
I did not want the criminal looking for a cutoff switch.
Oh,
okay. I thought you were trying to plan it for yourself, but you're saying
No,
okay,
my
okay.
feeling was I would flip the switch off as I was coming in from work or whatever on any day just to find a marker. If I got to in front of my apartment and I was essentially out of gas, I would flip it off 200 feet later.
got it.
I wanted whoever got in my car, because kill switches and things of this nature were popular at the time.
Where are they? Where were they located?
The switch was on the seat mount, which is a bench seat. It was like, piece of raised sheet metal, it's on the floorboard of the truck. And it was directly between my legs on the floor. And I would just reach down and flip it.
Got it.
It was the kind of switch you could find if you were looking for
Right.
it. That I didn't want to bury it in some place where I couldn't get to it. But I didn't want anyone looking for it. So I would leave enough fuel in there to have them start the car and then leave with the car and then have it simulate running out of gas, which it actually would be doing 100 yards up the street.
So it worked perfectly. It worked the way you planned it.
I went and found my car. I remember at the time thinking, oh, I got my truck stolen. And then thinking, ooh, I can't go to work today. And then finding my truck 5 minutes later down the street thinking I could go to work today. But I did get my truck stolen technically.
Yeah,
and
I'd
already
so much.
Not going to work back then was a lot like the thought of ordering a pizza. It's hard to undo.
Good luck going back.
unring that
Once
bell.
you have that thing in your head of what you want on that pizza and you're having pizza tonight, good luck undoing it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I am not going to work.
It'd be
I'm going to
more-
order a pizza.
It would be more devastating to end up going to work than to just not find your truck
Yes, at that point.
at that moment.
It was really it was all the trappings of my horrible studentness, which was like if I heard the school flooded or there's an earthquake, I was like, good.
No can
good.
do.
We don't have to go in. Even though I wasn't getting paid and I barely had enough to make ends meet,
Yeah,
I
who's the joke
still
on?
was like, I decided not to go to work today.
I think we've all been there with that particular kind of job.
Yes, so I was able to find my truck up the street again on a couple of occasions, and because I spray painted my radio, the radio was still in the dashboard. People,
You really prepared for this.
oh yeah, I knew. I knew. I've always been very realistic, which is you allergic to common sense, son? I.
Got up on my sinuses.
I was like, everyone's ripping out everyone's car stereos and everyone's stealing everyone's mini truck in the San Fernando Valley, and I have no insurance.
Yeah.
And this truck is all I got.
Yep.
It is my
livelihood.
second most valuable object in my life. Like I would
was the
say
first one the Tupperware?
that the truck was number one at $1,800 and number two would have been a hibachi.
Right.
I bought at the Home Depot, street value $12. Like there that was all I had.
You're
was
obviously
that.
not counting organs like your kidneys or something.
All
Probably
I-
street value.
What
No,
a fair price for
actually,
those.
I probably had a skill saw, like a high point saw, come in second place at $100, and then there was the hibachi, and maybe after that a universal remote, and then I'd be down to like salt shakers, like in terms of street value.
Sure.
Oh, I may have had a leather sofa. I think maybe my leather sofa could have come in second place.
What about the found booth?
The banquette.
You moved it with like a broken leg or broken something.
I had moved.
Torn ACL.
I
Yeah.
had moved away from the banquette. This is later
Wow,
on.
moving on up.
Later on in life.
Hey, I'm glad you explained why you did this, because if you didn't explain it, one could think, well, that's pretty narcissistic. Out of all the trucks, they're going to steal your truck. But you explained it, so that makes sense.
They stole mini trucks left, right, and center in the San Fernando Valley in the 80s, and they certainly stole everyone's stereo. They ripped out every stereo from every dash, and it made for an amusing thing because they stole so many stereos and so many cars that they invented the stereo that pulled out.
Yeah.
They invented the stereo's
Right.
face popped
Right.
off. You take it
Detachable
with
face.
you
Yes.
into the movie theater.
To the restaurant.
Where a lot of people lost them and got drunk and left them. Then they stole their own stereo.
Yeah.
Also, this is something that used to happen. You'd find these notes, these super angry notes, like in the windows of cars going, stereo's already been stolen, so leave me the fuck
Nothing
alone.
of value here.
Right, right, because they would steal the stereo, but they would destroy the dashboard
Right, just
stealing
getting
it. It was
yeah.
like you'd get your window busted. And you'd get your dash destroyed, and the stereo being gone was kind of the least of your worries because your window was punched out and your dash was blown up.
How much would you get for a stolen car stereo?
That's a great question.
You wouldn't get anything. You would get a hit of something, like a fix of something.
Sure.
Like nobody retailed in these things. It was like I just sort of distilled it down to if you're walking around and you're looking into car windows that are parked in like a residential area or a parking lot of a movie theater, restaurant, or something like that, and you are bashing in the window, reaching in and tearing out the stereo, that is a completely desperate move.
Sure.
That is not you trying to amass wealth so you can send your youngest to college or trade school. It's like, I need a fucking hit of cocaine right now. So... Get that. So they rip off a $500 stereo and they sell it for $50 because they needed a hit, and that's why I knew that if I desecrated my own stereo, that person couldn't flip it.
Yeah.
If it was the kind of person that had some long-term plan, then all you do is get some acetone or lacquer thinner and some Q-tips and spend the weekend cleaning it up in your mom's house, and then you sell it for $300 or whatever it is. But this was I decided in my head it was a desperate act.
Yep.
Yeah, the thing
like
about
the Joker burning half the money.
Yeah.
I'm only burning my half.
Yeah, my buddy Carl, when we were walking through Tijuana all those years ago looking for the donkey show, kept spitting on my back.
Talk about a desperate move.
And I had borrowed his jacket because it was freezing outside, and like he had another jacket or something. And he was drunk and he kept spitting on the back of my jacket. And I kept saying, Carl, stop spitting on the back of my jacket. And he goes, it's my jacket.
Yeah.
So he was Joker. By the way, if anyone wants to know drunk guy activities, that's one of them.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to know the difference between men and women when they're drunk,
that's a big one.
That's a big one. You probably wouldn't even been looking for the donkey show.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
That's right. So when it comes to any problem, whatever faces our society, this is what bothers me about homelessness when they go, it's a mom of 3 who recently got laid off from her job. I go, no. Get to the root. What is the root? What do they want? Who wants your stereo?
Right.
These aren't international jewel thieves. Like, who wants it and what's the process?
Yeah.
And what are they going to do?
What are you getting in exchange?
And once you figure that out, you paint your stereo.
You think like a criminal.
That's right. And everyone used to think I was nuts because everyone who got my car would go, why is your stereo beige?
It's my stereo.
It's still there, ain't it?
Spit on it. Yeah. All right. So let's see. Dawson has an article on COVID and obesity. Again, opportunity missed here, people, to really send a message about... Again, we could have,
Wasn't there a war against obesity, or was that Michelle Obama? What, am I making it up?
She was the new food plate instead of the pyramid.
Here's the thing. Drew and I always used to talk about this because some guy would call in the love line. He'd say his girlfriend's put on a whole bunch of weight. He's not attracted to her, and blah, blah, blah. And we would always say, don't go to her and say, I'm tired of fucking your fat pussy. Say to her,
darling.
Say to her, I talked to Dr. Drew. He's worried about your health. This is a health issue.
Yeah.
And she's still going to be pissed, but if you
pissed at Drew.
approach it like a doctor saying you need to lose weight for health reasons, right? So we don't live in a society, you can't fat shame. You can't tell anyone they're overweight. If you work for Dove or Unilever or whatever, they have to have a bunch of morbidly obese chicks talking about this is the new sexy, but could have used the pandemic as the doctor's note.
Yeah.
Like, hey, baby, we're just following science here, America.
It's out of my hands.
I love you too much to watch you get sick.
You're beautiful when you're morbidly obese, but you're also more enticing to the COVID.
Yeah.
And so here's a perfect opportunity to have a conversation.
Yep.
Never did have that conversation. And probably most people hung out, ate more fast food delivered to their house than ever before, and
Because
ironically put weight on.
It's because we're good Americans, and that's what we were told to do. Hunker down, order food, have them leave it on your door, and go run away as fast as they can.
Right. We were told to hunker down and support these businesses.
Yes.
And so everyone just had food brought to their house, and everyone got fatter. So here's this article that somebody tweeted me.
Just a little extra weight raises risk of severe COVID in study. Carrying even a little extra weight raises the risk of developing a severe form of COVID-19, especially in younger adults, according to a new study. The findings published Thursday offer fresh insights into who is most at risk of complications, laying out the effects for certain age and ethnic groups and showing how weight gain matters. The study comes as repeated lockdowns and pandemic stress led to expanding waistlines in many developed countries and quashes the perception that only the obese face worse outcomes. Those with a body mass index above 23, which is considered at the upper end of the healthy range, are already at higher risk, according to UK researchers. They found that each 1 point increase in BMI, body mass index, raises the chance of hospitalization by 5% and of intensive care admission by 10%.
Just 1 point, each point above.
And 23, like you said, is the high end of the healthy scale. Like that's
Right.
that's not obese.
Yeah, I don't know. Can you find the BMI? Because I heard people talking about it as it pertains to people over 25 can get the shot, BMI or whatever, but it's not that hard to get to 25, I don't think.
And remember, like in gym class, they would have someone come with that little pointy thing and pinch the back of your arm for your BMI. Do we still do that?
We had a rope, and we tied it to the ceiling, and we knew who the fat kids were immediately.
Got it.
That was our BMI
I see.
caliper.
You don't remember those little like pinchers? Did you have
I don't
those,
think
Brian?
they did that.
I didn't have that.
No.
No.
That's some Midwest bullshit.
Must be.
Yeah, we'll try to figure out. Like,
They didn't factor in Shted alarms, though. I was born with those.
I'm 6'2", so I'm trying to read this.
I can't see
this thing
23,
and see where we're at. Gina has made her way over to the body mass. I'm 200 pounds.
160. And climbing.
You're 26.
So I'm over.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Get your black dress ready, Gina.
So I'm 26 at 6'2", 200 pounds. Sorry. What do I got to get down to get down to?
23 is the high end.
Wow.
Right, but was that 185 pounds or?
190 is at
to get-
6'2". Yeah, 6'2", 190 is at 24, which is the last one before it's
buddy.
considered.
I got to cut some weight.
You got 15%, 5% for every tick.
Yeah, I mean, I have been walking around at 200 pounds for some time, and it's heavier than I'd like to be. But 190 is pretty slim for me, so I'd still be over it at 190.
That's wild.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
The impact was greatest in those under age 40, and the risks were amplified for black people compared to other ethnic groups. Scientists found after studying the health records of almost 7 million people in England. Being overweight had little effect on outcomes for people older than 80. The research was published in the Lancet Diabetes and Endocrinology Journal.
But have you ever seen an overweight or an obese 80-year-old?
Oh, sure.
Really? They always
No.
seem so frail
They're-
and spindly.
Well, it's hard to be morbidly obese in 87. You're
That's-
usually
it's a
dead.
self-selecting
That's a
group.
good point,
Yes.
You just we don't see a lot
That
of
is
them. It's
true.
my and my mean pantheon of mean grandma talk. Haven't brought it up in a long time, but famously, God, when I was like 17, My grandma, I don't know if your grandmother was this way too, but I was always by nature kind of a smart ass. You know, I always had a retort, like
Agreed.
Brian had a
You get it.
retort, had something prepared.
Always has
Some
some
chambered.
some comeback.
He said something to me, I said something back.
Wise
I make
crack.
a joke.
Yeah.
I would just make a crack, you know? And when I was like 17, my grandmother said, you know, in the old age homes, in the nursing homes and the old care facilities, and they weren't talking about a hospice. I mean, it was like retirement homes and stuff. He said it 10-1, women to men. And I just went, whoa, more chicks for me. And she just went, what makes you think you're going to be the one guy? like you're going to be dead, grandson.
Wow.
Like, I was like, wow, I'm 17. I have to ponder my own mortality, you old bitch. I'm fucking miserable enough. I can't even get a decent sandwich around this fucking house.
The one thing I have to look forward to.
I made a joke.
That's good.
The joke was when I'm 82, I'll have my
Right.
pick of the litter with the
great.
lady. I'll be the cock.
You'll be the fox in a chicken coop.
Yes, I will be the rooster who
Sure.
rules the roost with all the ladies
Yeah.
in my. No, her
No.
thing is statistically you'll be dead.
Yeah. God, they hated
Not
you.
sure why she needed to. Why include that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Quash your one dream.
That's all I had.
Yeah.
And talk about delayed gratification. Hey, in about 62 years, you're going to be sitting pretty, son.
Things are going so with the ladies now.
Yeah.
The milk commercial never got to that one. Remember, it used to be the kid in the mirror that got
Yes.
older and stronger. He never got to the nursing home.
No, she felt very. It was very important for her to include the fact that,
Sure.
according to statistics, I'll be one of the 9 guys who died, and not the 10th who's alive and having sex with the elderly.
Right.
Yeah,
With your peers.
it's weird. It's always the calorie burning being mean. It's always an interesting subject to me.
Yeah.
There's it's kind of like there are those people out there who go like, I was watching such and such the other night, and they go, yeah, you already told me. And I always think to myself, that's true.
Yeah.
But if you waited 30 seconds, it would have been over.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can just go, yeah. And to me,
don't
it's like when people. It's like when people call me Alan. I don't get at the Starbucks or something. It's like, it's just weird just to stop and go, you're wrong.
It's time-
Yes.
burn
It's
some
time for
calories
you to
here.
put your brain in neutral and just coast for 45 seconds. Guys telling the story you heard 5 minutes ago, well, by all means, I'm gonna take a eyes wide open nap.
You could break America into one of two groups: the ones that go, "You already told me that," and the ones that just sort of sit there and go, "Yeah, I'm just going to hear
don't say.
this thing again."
Yeah.
Who you were probably tuned out the first time anyway. So
They're giving you another opportunity.
right, all right. Someone wants to pull some balls and sorry, Dawson, you had more, or did you have more?
That was the end.
Oh, okay, so BMI over 23, according to my math, I'm at 24, 190, and I'm 13 pounds away from 190. So that means to get to 23, I'm probably 185, which is, that's playing weight for me.
Sinewy.
And
Stands with the stars.
so now, that's Dance with the Stars weight. So you are at risk if you're pretty much anything above pretty fit. I mean, if you got 5 pounds on fit,
Right.
that's you. And boy, those numbers go up fast. So we could have used this as a nice little teachable moment, but we didn't.
But here we are.
All right, let's see. Eric has a family member that fell into QAnon, and then also Mike wants to pull some balls in Golden, Colorado. Eric, 38, Bay Area.
Yeah, Adam, get it on.
Hi, guy.
Yeah, so I have a family member. They're not loud and proud, Q, but everything that comes out of their mouth is from that world. And I've had a chance to talk to them about it. Didn't go great. It was hard to talk about it without feeling I'm insulting them.
Yeah.
Because it's just so hard to believe the things that they believe in. And so what would your advice be to try to kind of get them snapped out of it, or would you just not bring it up again?
Do you need them? What do you?
Oh.
Oh,
Quiet.
what?
Got a little guy here.
What do you need? What would Baldwin say to that?
No, we tell them to be
Quiet.
Oh, that's right. That's awesome. How close are you? Like, do you need these people? Like, my first thing with family members is, can we keep walking here?
Right.
You see them for Thanksgiving, or do you have to kind of deal with them?
Are you neighbors? What's the deal?
No, we don't see each other very much, but we grew up together.
is a cousin or something, a peer?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a cousin.
There you go.
How is their life running? Because I factor this in. You know what I mean? There's social drinking, and then there's
Right.
I can't go to work drinking.
Right.
And one of them you don't really need to stop, and the other one you do need
Right.
to get involved in. Is it affecting this person?
It's hard to say. We don't live near one another, and so I really couldn't tell you. It seems like otherwise they're doing okay. I mean, I'm not otherwise worried. I'm not saying I got to call this person.
Are they married? Do they have a significant other?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're married.
Is the wife down with the QAnon?
No.
That's good.
How's your relationship with the wife?
Well, my cousin's the female actually, so it's her husband.
Oh,
But
so
it's
funny.
It's the same. We get along, but we don't talk that often.
It's interesting. Yeah, when I hear QAnon, I just assign a gender
Yeah.
to it. I think it's a dude.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
makes a lot more sense.
But I don't know.
You and Drew spent a lot of time trying to figure out if QAnon was a thing, what it was, et cetera, et cetera. Eric, what is alarming to you about this relative?
Well, it's more that they've got kids, and they're all in high school. They're older, and so I guess
What are you
they're
talking
worried a little
about?
bit about setting a good example for them.
Yeah. Are they in the Bay Area too?
No, they live far away.
No, I couldn't afford that.
Everybody's far away.
Come on.
Okay. I might talk to the spouse. So then, sorry, how are you with the husband of this woman?
Yeah, we're cool.
And the husband's not down with the QAnon deep dives.
No, he's not. But the impression I'm getting is that he's kind of stayed out of it.
Well, maybe it's time he involve himself. I would. I might talk to the husband. That I don't think you're really going to get the straight stuff out of her.
Yeah. And in what, give me one example ever when you know you're right and somebody else is wrong and you try to beat that into their head and it's ever worked. Like that's never the way to
It's
go.
a losing
it
proposition.
never works. Yeah.
I'm curious here. You just keep saying QAnon stuff. What are the specific things that this woman is saying
I
that
was
you
about-
disagree with?
I was about to ask that
Is
as
this
well.
the child
Yeah,
bloodletting?
No, I hope that's not part of it. No, it's more, not trusting the vaccine. I heard so and so died from it. Something about Bill Gates a while ago getting sued somewhere for the pandemic. Vote counting. Maybe who knows? Maybe Trump won the election. It's stuff like that where it's hard to say. It's just like Brian has said before. To what end? To what end would Bill Gates want to involve himself in something like this? He's the richest man in the world.
I guess
and it's those types of things.
Here's a philosophical way to look at it. A lot of people are into anime. Doesn't make sense.
Go on.
Doesn't make it right.
Doesn't make it right. I find it kind of repugnant. But as long as they're not hurting anyone, they're just hanging around with other like-minded idiots who like characters with huge eyeballs. I find it off-putting. I suppose, if the anime people took to the streets to take back the Capitol or something,
That'd be an issue.
that'd be funny. But as long as she's just thinking about stupid stuff, then maybe that's her distraction and who cares? I mean, I would say I would talk to the husband and I would say, if this starts manifesting, like I want the kids pulled out of school, or I don't trust the backup camera in the
Right.
minivan, so I've turned it off and I ran over the neighbor's kid. Like
Small
if
price to
that's
pay.
if it's starting to manifest itself, then do it. I would talk to the husband. Eric?
Okay.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
here, so I had you on mute.
Not
Yeah,
sexy.
Thank you.
I would also just kind of keep walking.
Yeah.
Mike, 42, Colorado. Oh, you want to pull balls in Golden, Colorado?
I absolutely do. Hey.
Hey.
Hey, everybody. I love all the, Ace, I love you. And Bald, Gina, awesome, fan of all the pods.
Shit, yeah.
Thank you.
Keep it up, everybody.
Thank you.
Do you live in Golden?
No, I'm in Fort Collins.
How far out is that?
Another happy beer town in Colorado.
Golden. Golden is so nice. We went there to go on the Coors tour. And I don't know, we showed up late or whatever. There was a line and we just went, fuck it. And we just went into town and we sat outside. I think Sonny had like a buffalo burger or something, had a few
lean.
beers and just, it's, you
Colorado
guys been,
buffaloes.
you been into Golden? Have you been into Golden?
No, we've
Not
done a
Golden.
few shows in Colorado and never
Denver.
Golden.
I've been to cities like that in Colorado, and they are utopic.
Golden kind of makes Denver look like Burbank or
Yeah.
something. Like it is so quaint
Yeah.
and everyone's out walking and they have weird little statues and rivers and it's just idyllic. So,
Awesome.
yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh,
It is awesome. Yeah, go ahead.
Fort Collins is similar and great. The downtown here is what Walt Disney based his downtown on, is our Walnut Main Street here.
Man.
So it's, just idyllic, Ace, to say the least.
Yeah. So, I said that right.
Shitting on points.
Sorry. Wait, go ahead, Brian.
I was saying, it sounds apocryphal. This is like every nice town has a version of that. I'm sure Balboa Island has a version of that. I'm sure every nice place
Walt
in the
Disney.
Let's
Sea
see.
Haven.
Let's
He based
see.
his. But you know what? Maybe he's right.
Yeah.
He did.
You should,
What an odd thing to
I'm
make
with
up.
Brian. Burn the town down, and it's a pack of lies built
on the edge.
built on a foundation of misinformation and lies
Here's something from the Colorado
well,
end.
by
Indeed.
Disney, who was certainly an anti-Semite.
By all means.
That's
that
true.
town needs
By
to go
many
down.
accounts.
The story of Disneyland's Main Street and Old Town Fort Collins. Fort Collins
Of
inspired
course, the
Disneyland's Main
Coloradoans
Street.
going to say that.
Yeah, you on a QAnon
Come on.
website there?
WanderDisney.com, a tour of Harper Goff's Fort Collins, the inspiration for Disneyland's Main Street.
All right.
Oh, it says here on the
Apologize, Brian.
Floridian that it was based on Tampa's downtown.
Well, if I lived there, I might make that claim.
And also Marceline, Missouri, a tale of two main streets, the towns that inspired Disney. Fort Collins and Marceline.
Story's falling apart. For very
Yeah,
eyes.
yeah, exactly. It's Florida will be in there by the end of the article.
So, Mike, you want to pull some balls?
I absolutely do. I'm going to be at the Buffalo Rose on Saturday the 19th for both shows, for the live pod and the You're Not Being
good.
Prepared.
Good.
And
Good. Have you ever been in the Buffalo Rose?
no, I haven't. My wife is from Colorado, which is what got us to move back here.
Yeah.
And she knows all these places and is over the moon.
I was. We hadn't been inside of the Buffalo Rose, but I was. We sat directly across the street, outdoors at a cafe, enjoying our bison burgers and beers, and we're looking at the Buffalo Rose the entire time, going, "Oh, that's a pretty cool joint." So good. And then, of course, you got the Shelby Museum. That's a stone's throw away as well. So good on you. All right, Mike, you're in.
Awesome.
We'll put you on hold and we'll figure it out. We'll see you on the Saturday, June 19th.
Awesome. Thanks, Ace. Love you, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, man. All right, let me take care of a little business there. Christina from Buffalo, hang on.
Oh, Buffalo. That was what Disney based in Main Street.
That's right. Downtown, Old Town Buffalo.
Also, I couldn't look up at the screen and keep saying Buffalo Rose without thinking I was just reading it off the screen and it was somehow polluting my mind. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. All right, having a senior moment there. Let me tell you about Air Medcare Network. Health insurance doesn't always cover the full cost of an emergency medical flight. Even with comprehensive coverage, you could get hit with substantial copays and deductibles. Plan ahead. In an emergency, Air Medcare Network's highly trained crews provide air medical transportation to the nearest, most appropriate trauma center. With an Air Medcare Network membership, you pay no out-of-pocket expenses for the flight, and AMCN membership also covers your entire household for as little as $85 a year. So, secure your financial peace of mind. As a listener, you get up to a $50 e-gift card with a new membership. So, what do you got to lose, man? Visit airmedcarenetwork.com/Adam and use the offer code Adam and protect your family. All right, we'll take a quick break. Be right back with Christina from Buffalo right after this.
And now, a totally innocuous word that sounds dirty when Mike Dawson says it.
Explosion.
Ew. That was a totally innocuous word until Mike Dawson said it. Let's get back to the Adam Carolla Show.
Well, we got Christina, 44, from Buffalo, has a theory on woke culture and labels and bags. Christina?
Hi, guys. How are you?
Hi, girl.
So I think I identified the seed that was planted for our woke culture and then spread like an invasive species, and I'm wondering if you agree.
Mm-hmm.
Warnings on every plastic bag under the sun that it's not a toy and children could suffocate.
Interesting. We have talked a lot about warnings and do not attempts and how stuff just became ubiquitous a few years ago. And yeah, I mean, I've always sort of spoken about the umbrella of safety and how that could be expanded to almost anything. And there is a direct correlation if you hear about all the people that feel unsafe, feel threatened. Also, you know, as it pertains to the whole COVID thing, it's like there's a lot of talk now about an abundance of safety, like an abundance. I precaution. I also bring it back to the zero tolerance. You know, we have zero tolerance for whatever, racism or bullying or whatever. And by the way, I never know. I don't feel like you announcing you have zero tolerance for anything ever stopped anyone from doing anything ever. But it's nice. But yeah, it's getting out. It's it's kind of all encompassing. I don't know what came first, you know, the wokeness or the egg. Like, was it the labels that came and made people woke, or did the wokeness do the labels?
There's no correlation versus causation. Feels like the former. You know what I mean? Like they may have happened around the same time. Not one begat the other, but the timeline matches up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This thought came into my mind because I ordered a pillow from Amazon and it came compressed in plastic wrap. And there was this giant yellow warning label on it. I've seen toxic waste with lesser warnings than this pillow. And
you were supposed to...
What toxic waste have you seen?
You were supposed to not play with the bag it came in?
Yes, it was. The warning was that children. It said children and babies may suffocate. Don't play with it. It was a plastic film that the pillow came in. I have a picture of it. I can email it to Max Zapata.
You know where a lot of this started with me, and it would drive me insane. When I made money, and one of the first things I did was go get myself a nice car after I started making some money. And I loved the interior. I remember clearly I had a Jaguar. Ooh. And the interior had like the burl walnut and the dash and the chronograph clock. And it was really spectacular. And like the headliner was like cashmere or something, and everything was beautiful. Everything was it wasn't, but it was like Cantera leather, something. Everything was spectacular, but it drove me insane that there was a big bright orange warning decal that had been ironed on to the sun visor telling you how to put your seatbelt on.
Really ruins the aesthetic.
And because it was
luxury aesthetic.
Because it was like hot ironed on, you couldn't peel it off. It was just there. And I think the headliner and the sun visors were like beige or natural or whatever, tan or whatever. I think I spray painted it. I got so bothered by this.
You do have a rich history of spray painting.
Yeah.
Well, I used this on my radio, my last car.
Yeah, and it was also the other thing that bothered me is it was the exact same iron-on yellow seatbelt warning sticker that would come on a Ford Fiesta.
Yep.
I was like, what is that cheap-ass Ford Fiesta shit doing in my Jag?
Yep.
And I'm now thinking about it. I don't think they're on the sun visors anymore.
They're not, because that's where the mirror goes.
Yeah.
The little flip-up mirror.
What was, you got to find that if you can, Kaylin, that warning that was spot welded onto the visors of all cars from like 1989 to like 2005 or something. But for some reason, we don't need them anymore. But I was also like, did it have something to do with the airbag? Maybe it was the airbag and not the seatbelt. Yeah, but again, what shall I do with the information? It's a kind of a... there's an old Seinfeld joke when he talked about at the post office putting all the wanted ads up, and he'd be like, "What am I supposed?" And he'd go, give me a book of stamps and a search warrant. I've had it up to here with this guy's activities. like. What shall we do with this thing?
Yeah.
My seat is where the seat is. Yeah. The seat belt's on, and the airbag is in the steering wheel.
Yep.
I have no idea what to do with your airbag information.
I'm not putting a car seat in this two-seater.
I'm certainly not going to put it on my lap.
Right.
We have...
Because that was a lot of the warnings where don't put a car seat in the passenger seat because the airbag.
What? Do you guys think you have that on your newish car?
I'm
No.
almost positive I don't.
No.
I don't think I do either.
No, because I just drove back from Joshua Tree in the passenger seat, and there's nothing on either one.
What was that? All right, Max Pat.
Sure,
I mean, not Max Pat, but Kaylin, you got to find it. I think it's
I do see the car seat one here. I'll put it up.
The one on the visor.
That's the one I'm familiar with. Don't put a car seat there because it'll crush the kid.
Oh, that's on a visor, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on the... But it shouldn't be on the driver's side
No.
visor. It could be on the passenger side.
Yeah, that's a little flippy mirror part.
Right. All right. Anyway, that's probably what it was. Drove me nuts. Christina?
Yes.
Also, I must say that as humans, it's important to, when you put your hand over an open flame, you pull it back. You know what I mean? Like you need to kind of have a relationship with things that are dangerous and to kind of understand them. As a former carpenter, the first thing you learn is sort of every tool and what it could do to you. You know what I mean?
No, that's a good point.
And you have a relationship with everything, and you wouldn't do certain things with certain tools. And it's many have lost an eye or a digit or a life who came before us, but that's part of the process. Kind of worry that we're sort of bubble wrapping everyone and kind of removing that from life, that important experience. And now they don't even want us to profile. Fuck that. Yeah. Thanks, Christina.
Thank you, guys.
Buffalo.
Okay.
We got Steve from Nebraska. Was in a Target and noticed something. I didn't even read the call. Steve?
It's a real problem in playing society.
What's going on, Steve?
So you always talk about commercials being like a sign of the times and whatnot. And as I was walking through Target the other day, Gina, just for a frame of reference here, a lot of guys, when they see come up on a woman or something, or see a picture of a woman, it's not, we don't analyze necessarily, her eyes or her hair.
Right.
The first question is, would you bang her or not? That's
Sure.
usually the first one that comes into the mind
Right.
for a lot of guys. So, assuming, all women want to bang us at any given time, because that's what porn has taught us through
Now,
the ages.
to be fair to
but-
males, Steve, because I don't want Gina thinking we're just walking through the Target picking and choosing who we'd bang. We'd let all of you blow us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's mighty nice of you.
So we're not
Hardly any questions asked.
Yeah, there's
Right.
almost no barrier to entry.
You'd let us.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's benevolent.
I don't want you to think we're just like some kings, anointing queens.
How incredibly generous of you.
Yeah, well, I want accuracy
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah,
show.
yeah.
Thanks, Steve. I don't want you to think we're Neanderthals.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but as I was walking back to look for a pair of swimming trunks, and I walked past the women's clothing section, and they always have pictures up of models displaying whatever clothes are out and whatnot. And I walked by, and I was not attracted to a single out of 9 pictures.
How dare they?
I found myself rather unattracted to all these women, and it seemed like a sign of the times to me of the size of the women, or just the pure unattractiveness of them, to include any and all people in these models that go up in these pictures.
You didn't want to fuck any of those pictures?
I'm old-fashioned, but I like a good. I don't know, if you're going to put someone up there in their bra and underwear, then maybe they should be attractive to me, I guess.
I'm with you, Steve.
Well, you're the main consumer they're going for, the target demo.
Yeah, I have definitely noticed that too. And I think they figured out models used to be sort of aspirational.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this is what you would want to look like in this bikini.
Now
and
they're aspirational. Am I right, bro? Gina's laughing so hard she can't even form words.
That's right.
No, I think it's a sort of, when you go to the IHOP, they put pictures of the food on the menu, but they don't take pictures from Spago.
Oh, from other restaurants? Well,
They just go, this is what your fucking shit on a shingle's
Yeah.
going to look like.
That's right.
And they give you about the best version of it.
They do.
But it's still a Diablo sandwich or a lumberjack stack.
Moons over my hammy.
They do the best they can with
Right.
what they have.
Yes.
But this is what you're getting. And I think
Target's
Target has figured that out now, too.
That makes perfect sense because, I thought he was going to say this, that the mannequins at Target are plus size.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, that makes sense. Like you said, it used to be aspirational, but now people just want to know, fuck that. I don't look like her. What's it going to look like on me? And that's where they finally realize that's who their clientele is. So they're catering to it.
The kind of interesting part of this is I don't feel like they're doing it in the dude department. The dudes.
No, I don't think so either.
They focused on race. They got a lot of mixed races going on, but there's no
black head, white body.
Yeah, they're really mixing up those races.
Well,
they don't have a lot of porkers in the dude department.
Good point.
They got black dad in the dude department.
Which
the
I
women,
think most of the ladies are down.
Yeah, the women are. According to commercials on TV, fully 86% of the married couples are mixed in this country.
That's right.
This is according to TV, as far as I can tell. And the other 14% is a single mom with their red-haired son.
Right. Well, I don't want to further upset Steve because he sounds like he's already been through a lot. But when I just Googled Target advertisements.
Hold on, Steve, you there?
Yeah.
None there.
If you had to fuck just one of the pictures, could you decide, or would you have to give you a couple of beers?
Yeah, I might need a couple and throw back a couple of them.
They're also
it's a pretty wide variety too. I guess I have a lot of variety to choose from at this point. So
also there is one thing that Target is kind of not intentionally doing, which is the dudes who get dragged along while the wife's looking for clothing. That's about all they had, was to stare at the hot chick in the
I
bikini.
see. Right.
You know what I mean? It was kind of the Victoria's Secret thing at the mall. Like, that's what you had.
Sit on one of those pink velvet chairs, take it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm Team Walmart now, as you know. But when I looked up Target advertisements, the first thing that came up was this delightful couple.
Oh, dudes.
So they are really expanding their horizons.
Oh yeah,
which,
a lot
which I like.
of dudes, a lot of gay couples.
It says
too.
be yourself together.
I'm trying to think. All right. gay couples may in fact shop at Target, but not for clothing. That's my
Very
take.
fair, yeah.
They'll definitely go there and get an oversized wooden salad bowl.
Right. From the Chrissy Teigen Cravings collection.
Yeah, or one of those yoga balls
Yeah.
or something. Maybe
Yeah.
some outdoor furniture,
Yeah,
maybe, but I don't think they're sweater shopping there.
No, I think you're right about that.
That's
Probably different.
That's not the gay
I think
couples
you're
I
absolutely
know.
right.
I don't know if this makes or helps or hurts your point, but it's interesting because you mentioned the IHOP, the pictures of the food. Speaking of impossible beauty standards, and they eliminated this according to Christie a few years ago, but back in the day, the food photography wouldn't even be food. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like
yeah.
a scoop of ice cream was
Shortening.
was that shortening, exactly. It was something other than the food
Right.
to make it look
Glue.
more delicious.
Glue
and
was always
glistening.
milk, because of the blue factor of
And,
it.
and Christie's like, oh, they stopped doing that. That's
Really?
something-
That's my favorite thing. I love those little secrets about all, like when they're putting the toothpicks into the styrofoam
you can't
underneath.
do that anymore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I was trying to. It's outlawed.
Impossible. Yeah, I guess there's some.
So the photographer must eat whatever they take
That's
a
right,
photo
whatever it
of.
is. Like, you better
Whether
eat
it's
that.
shaving cream or whipped cream.
Yeah, I remember here's how boring and shitty and devoid of entertainment my childhood was. One of the highlights was showing up at someone's house that had a candle that looked like a banana split.
Oh, yes.
That was
big
a
time.
big deal. Like,
Yes.
well, that looks exactly like a banana split,
Very 80s.
but it's a candle.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had one. I had the ice cream cone.
I'm going to stare at it for another 40 minutes.
Yeah. I had the strawberry
Oh, no,
ice cream
don't
cone.
light it. If you light it,
It'll be
it'll
less
melt
banana
in, and then
split.
people will know it's not a banana split.
Yep.
Because it looks just like a banana split, but,
Yep.
but it's a candle. Can you imagine pitching that to my kids? I'd like you to marvel at candles for a while.
It's nominally a candle because you can't light it, like you said.
I know you'll.
Are you kidding me?
It's basically Dan Aykroyd and his vodka. You can't
Yeah,
open
can't
the
drink it.
skull. It's just
No.
there. All right. Let's see. Ian Bagg is here, so we'll talk to him in a second. First, I'll tell you about JB Weld. DIYers and pros have trusted JB Weld for 50 years plus for projects big and small, home and garage. Let's say your candle breaks. You need to put it back together. You go with JB Weld, world's strongest bond. We're proud to have JB Weld Epoxy Adhesives as a sponsor. I personally know the owner. I was very organic. I was just wandering through SEMA, saw the JB Weld stand, wandered in for some hot adhesive talk, and spoke to the owner. And now he's a sponsor. DIY projects, auto, crafts, plumbing, marine, and more. JB Weld, I fixed Sonny's shoe with JB Weld. Stromer fixed his tile tray, wet saw tray with JB Weld. Different JB Weld products, but JB Weld nonetheless. And I also acquired a Herculiner, the original DIY truck bed liner. So JB Weld, right, Dawson?
Did not know I had an outro. I'll find it and do it in post.
Okay. All right. One of our favorite, Ian Bagg, comedian, is going to be in studio right after this.
JB Weld is available at j-bweld.com. Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, AutoZone, Advance Auto Parts, O'Reilly, Amazon, Michaels, and more. And remember, JB Weld epoxy products are proudly made in the USA. JB Weld is available at jbweld.com. It's time for Nicaraguan Name That Movie with Adam's buddy Oswaldo. See if you can guess which movie this famous line is from.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through to life song.
If you said Animal House,
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
you're correct. Now, back to the show.
Ian Bagg has joined us. He's got some live shows we can talk about, podcasts as well, Around the Bag, and a hockey podcast, Enjoying Orange Slices with Jeff and Ian. That's available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Good to see you, Ian.
Good to see you guys.
I heard, I don't know if you went to a hockey game out here. I heard somebody talking about going to a Kings game, and they said it's a pain in the ass because of all the COVID stuff there. It was all spread out and doing all the rules and regulations. Do you, I mean, you're from Canada. You love hockey.
I love the hockey. Have I been since it's all happened? No, not at all. I just don't want to hang out with those
Here's
people.
a philosophical question for you.
All right.
Who's more into their sport? Canadians, who all seem to be all in with hockey, or Europeans with soccer?
Oh, interesting. I thought you were going to go with Americans with football because those people are insane as well.
Yeah, but the thing about America is we have such a diverse portfolfolio. You know what I mean? On any given, every time there's every Super Bowl at some point, like I'll make a beer or an ice run at halftime, and I'll see people going about their business. I'm gonna fucking ram them in my truck. Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like they're like walking around. They're not doing anything.
Yeah, they're not
Get
watching
the
the Super
fucking
Bowl.
house and watch a Super Bowl.
My whole sports ball bit. People proudly proclaiming, I have no idea what this thing is.
They wouldn't try that shit in Canada.
Oh yeah, well, the playoff series takes 8 games, 7 games. Somebody's got to win 4 of them. So it's not one game. That also says how bad of an attention span America has. One game, one day, that's it. We're done.
Right.
And also 14 games for the whole season. All right, we're moving on.
People used to care about the World
16,
Series.
16, whatever.
Maybe going to 17.
17 this year.
Oh, too many. What did you say?
People used to care about the World Series, to be
They
fair.
used to
care.
Yes, they used to.
For
I don't know.
Toronto won a couple.
I would say it's pretty tied with the Europeans and Canadians, though, because
between soccer and hockey.
because there could be a riot at any time during both.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's discernible or if it's findable, but what percentage of Canadians are into hockey and what percentage of
Probably changed,
Englanders or whatever.
Italians, maybe.
Yeah, but they both seem pretty fanatical.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Even if you aren't into hockey, you're still pretty crazy about it. There's, most of your family, and you're fighting everybody being into it. So you're just trying to be different. You're wearing all black, so you don't have to have a team.
I come from North Hollywood, so there was no hockey, but. I love hockey because it involves like 2 sports. It involves hockey and then skating, which I feel like is its own sport.
Yes.
Like it's so fun to watch those guys.
Yeah,
skate.
they're so talented. It's crazy. It's insane. Yeah, it's going so fast too, the whole game, and they're on those blades. And it also involves boxing. You got to be able to fight.
Sure.
3 sports.
Yeah.
3 sports and Gina.
Yeah.
If I told you had to have sex with a umpire, a referee, an official of any sport, you would pick hockey.
I think so.
Because those guys are fucking fit.
Well, I do like the 75-year-old 5'1" basketball refs.
Oh, yeah, basketball guys got to run up and down a little bit too, but the hockey
We're
guys,
going with hockey.
they have to skate.
Yeah,
this way.
and they're basically they didn't just make the NHL, so they end up becoming, referees. Basically,
Got it.
Nobody's fat, drunk, and stupid going through life refereeing.
So you must have played
at some point. Now I'm fat, drunk, and stupid.
AKA American.
Green carded up and going for it.
Right.
So, and also, I'm looking here that you do shows at the Desert Pines Golf Course in Vegas.
Hole number 1.
Is it once a month?
The last Friday of every month we do it. So I just did
last Friday of every month.
so I just did it, and it's great. I don't know if you've been to the Desert Pines, but it is in the hood of Las Vegas, and it just shows people what to aim for.
I do remember this story. I always tell you that Jimmy Kimmel, for a comedian, he was a rule follower, right?
Yeah.
Most comedians are like Mitch Hedberg, I'm going to do some heroin and then I'll pick my kids up at school. Jimmy's like a rule follower, and I used to have to deal with him all the time. It's like the upfronts are in Pasadena and the car's going to pick us up at 10 and the upfronts are going to start at 4 and you better be in that. And I'm like, we don't have to be there before 2. I'm leaving without you. They said we need to be. It's part of his success is that he follows the rules.
He's diligent.
He was there first.
Diligent. He's like an A student, who was also the class clown. So he has both those qualities. And I remember one time we were doing some sort of golf tournament something, and we were in Vegas, and it was like July, and it was hotter than shit, and it was I think Carson Daly and Cousin Sal and everything, and we're playing golf like in the summer in Vegas, and so everyone came down in shorts, and Jimmy's like, "Go put some pants on."
Oh no!
Don't disrespect
we're like,
the game.
Whatever, put pants on. It's fucking frying out here. They have rules at the club, and we're like, but we're celebrities. It's like a celebrity thing, and like, you're not getting on to the links if you show up in those. And everyone had to go change into pants, and
Carrot Top's wearing diapers.
Yeah.
He's made his own shorts.
We showed up, and they were like, "What the fuck are you wearing pants for? It's frying out here."
This is Vegas. It's weird. At that Desert Pines, you can see a 7-Eleven from the Gulf.
Oh, really?
Luxury.
It says there's not going to be carts.
Glitz and glamour.
Yeah.
Do they have a dress code?
Oh, yes. You got to have clothes on. That's the dress code. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's not. They had somebody break onto the course and start a fire a couple months ago.
Really?
Yeah, it goes right into it. Yeah, it's good.
Golf course,
they're very nice.
Golf course is a bad place to start a fire.
It's so irrigated.
There's no brush. There's sand everywhere.
They found the area that had trees, and they started burning it down. Yeah.
Wow.
God.
Yeah, it's a pretty impressive area.
So how do you do the stand-up on the first? The first hole?
It's on the first hole, which also ends up being the 18th hole. Just comes around the other corner. So if we sell out, we can move people onto the 18th.
It's a good day.
Yeah, it's a good day. It's just doing it in a field. It looks like it's set up for a wedding, is what it looks like, which makes me laugh every time. But
so you do your stand-up under the chuppah for the Jews.
Yeah, and then you can see Las Vegas in the background. It's actually a great background. It's a real live background. Usually they paint them and make them look fake, but we got Vegas in the background, and it's just outdoors, which kind of happened during COVID.
Are people golfing?
No, it's not. It's at night. I'm not in the middle of the day.
That's it.
Yeah. I'm like, there's not a night golf thing going on. That's mini golf, Adam. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Although they have a sweet driving range in Vegas with the multi-level tiers.
They do, yes, they do, but not at that one. There was a fire.
Right.
Wait a minute. In Canada, is miniature golf mini golf?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Miniature golf.
Yeah.
Is what we call it here.
You're right. We don't
mini
really
golf
call it
is probably a Canadian thing.
Where's putt-putt? There's also people do putt-putt as well.
We
That
grew up
could
with
be
putt-putt.
Midwest.
Yes, that's very Midwest.
Yeah.
We like to have distinctions between the folks from the Midwest, so we kind of know who they are. You know what I mean?
Do you want
at bay.
Do you want a Coke or a pop?
Do you want casserole or hot dish?
Also, it's taxes. They have no taxes.
That's
we have
right.
taxes. But when they complain about it, like there's a reason you don't have taxes. That's how you get people here.
That's
Would
exactly
you
right.
go to a gas station or filling station to get either a Coke, a soda, or a pop?
I go to a petrol station to get a refreshing
Way to go, Australia.
Fanta. Yeah.
And then when you're done with it, would you throw it in the trash can or the ash can?
Oh!
I've never heard the ash can.
Oh, yeah.
Where's that?
Ash can. My dad was from Philadelphia, old school, and he called it the ash can because they would throw the ashes
Yeah.
away.
You want to go to Carl's Jr. or Hardee's?
Hardee's.
Yeah, that blew my mind. I'm like, I remember saying, are they allowed just to steal the logo? That doesn't make sense at all.
They had think about this. My dad's old house in South Philly, it's just like a row house, like a junker house, but had an incinerator in the backyard. Like a lot of old houses
Really?
have incinerators in the backyard.
Safe.
You'd burn your trash,
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't
and
know.
then you drag your ash can to the curb.
Oh, man.
There's something so dismal about that with like bad, cold, horrible
Yeah.
weather and an incinerator full
Breathing in
of
ash.
crap. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
also, like, think about all the styrofoam and plastic and bubble
my
wrap.
God.
We'd all just have lung cancer. Like you couldn't burn today's trash.
No.
It's all
You
toxic,
couldn't,
right?
you couldn't burn all your Amazon stuff. Yeah.
Well, think about today.
all that-
Just compost it. Just put it all in the bin.
Right.
Let's just go.
Oh, yes. Just poop on it.
So, big hockey hockey fans. Sorry. Who do we follow in hockey? Like who's the best? Who's the team?
Who's your team?
Who's my team? My team are the Vancouver Canucks, and they get COVID. Like the whole team gets COVID.
Is Canucks frowned upon these days?
No. I'm sure it will be at some point. I'm sure somebody will be hurt by it.
What does it mean?
It just means Canadian.
Oh,
yeah. It's slang for Canadian, kind of like a Yankee.
Got it.
Yeah. My wife is from the South, and my dad considers all Americans Yankees. So her face.
I didn't appreciate that.
Her face the first time she was called a Yankee was very interesting. So why is your dad doing that to me?
Yeah, Canucks fine.
Yeah.
Chinaman's just a Chinese man.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong.
It's also the guy that makes those symbols, the China symbols.
He's the first guy to get his ass kicked in an episode of Kung Fu. Like, what are you doing in here, Chinaman? He's always the first guy who's going to get the spinning heel across the temple.
Shoes come off.
Yes. I could tell you who the first guy to get his ass kicked in the movie, in the TV show Kung Fu is. It's the first guy to call David Carradine Chinaman.
Which is wildly inaccurate anyway.
Right. Yeah. I know.
As reliable as a black guy dying in the horror movie.
Right.
Yeah. You know what's going to happen. It's inevitable.
It's going to happen.
Or as I told you guys, that old Leno joke. Well, there's two. There was the new crew member on the Star Trek was always going to be dead by the first commercial break. And the first guy to call Buddy Epson Grandpa and Barnaby Jones because he was like an old.
That's funny.
He was old, like the first guy. Barnaby's going, okay, Grandpa, we'll handle this. Like he's the first guy going to open a can of whoop ass on.
We got this, Grandpa. Oh,
yeah. What the fuck were we talking about?
Hockey.
Hockey.
The Canucks.
I was just thinking about Buddy Epson. That's all I was thinking about. The Canucks. I like the Canucks, but the Kings have always been very nice to me. They let me drink out of the Stanley Cup when they won it. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, and I did something for the Vegas team. I did a promo. I did a.
The Knights?
The Golden Knights.
Yeah.
I did an undercover where I pretended to join their. I was doing a tryout for their ice crew. But I had never heard of hockey before, and I'd learned to skate from the internet. But then it turned out I could skate. Wah, wah, wah. And then I called it Nevada by mistake, and people lost their mind. How dare he's not from here? And I'm like, I'm not from here.
No one's
You
from
and
here.
Trump.
Yeah.
Called it Nevada.
Oh, is that what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's how we do.
Who's taken over hockey now? Like it used to be
Chinaman's.
pretty much Canadian.
Robitaille.
But then we started moving into sort of Eastern Bloc countries at a certain
The Russians
point.
are doing fairly well. They we can't tell their age. They're like what's the baseball team that they send to the World Series of kids and they turn out to be 22?
The League World
Puerto
Series.
Ricans.
Yeah.
So the Puerto Rican
they're like
guy
that.
kids are like that kid's 19 and he's pitching in the 13.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's throwing 95 miles an hour.
He's just been drafted, yet he has a family of 4, and one of those things. Yeah. The Canadians are still good. The Americans are really. You guys are picking up the pace. Like Vegas has got an insane amount of kids playing hockey now. California's
Got to get out of the heat.
I
Put
was
them in an
gonna
ice
say,
rink.
yeah.
So it's good for them. I don't know. I think it's a great game.
It was always a complete no-fly zone for me and any of my friends because you had to have the equipment.
Yeah, that's the struggle.
That's the struggle.
That's the struggle. That's the. I
white
remember
privilege.
there was always one kid on our team that didn't have. He just had skates. We gave him a stick, and then he didn't have any equipment. And then he got a helmet, and just slowly
Piecemeal.
Yeah. Then we figured out in a couple of years. Oh, that family has no money. So yeah.
But I will say, as a woman, if you can do this,
Bragger.
Thank you. As a woman, if you can do this, it is so hot. And I didn't know it because I didn't grow up with a lot of hockey guys. Ian Bagg, can you skate backwards?
Well, yeah, that's part of the game.
Oh, it's so hot. It's so hot.
Kinda
Why
have
don't you
to.
skate
So hot.
backwards?
It's because our butts are coming towards you.
Maybe.
I'm
Unless
a
you're a
dude,
goaltender, you have to do it.
and it's hot for me.
Yeah, it is.
The switch over, go backward behind the net, just sort of running along the boards is the sexiest move in sports.
I can get behind that.
Oh, okay. All right. That's interesting.
Work on that.
We should start a team or something like that. I was playing with a bunch of guys here. It was like Bill Burr and all just a big group of us playing, and a bunch of nobodies. But there was a guy named Joe Bartnick, and he couldn't skate at all. He'd get out there and who's the guy in the movies all the time? Big tall Vince Vaughn. He would come out and skate with us every so often.
How's his
not good
center of gravity?
Yeah, it was not good. He was on the boards, but we were just playing hockey, and I remember when they told me we were going to play, I was thinking they could all play. So it was like, and then I was suddenly the guy that had to tell people things. I'm like, hey, that's not what I came out here for. So I finally got bored enough. I bought goalie equipment and just played goal. So they had somebody to shoot on.
That's got to be a delicate balance. Like, how competitive? Like, you got to feel it out, right? Like, how are we playing, or are we just messing around?
Well, there's some guys that are really good, like Steve Byrne. He grew up in Pittsburgh. Yeah, he loved to play. And then there was a couple other guys that were good, and they were fun. But it was. Yeah, there's always that one guy. Hey, man, we're none of us are going to the Olympics at 40 years old, so let's calm down.
Calm down.
So
yeah, I feel that way. I feel there should be a sort of an unwritten law. It's not that you can't be skilled or that you can't play hard, but universal to these sort of pickup games or whatever. No hustling.
Yes.
I don't want it to fucking hustle. Like, here's the deal. When you're playing softball.
What are you trying to prove?
Yeah, you're playing softball, right?
Yeah.
And you hit the one hopper, come back to the pitcher. Just fucking turn around and go back to the dugout. I don't need you legging it out to first base and doing a head first slide.
Yeah.
I just fuck that. No,
there's always
no
one guy.
hustling.
There's always one guy, though.
Yeah, his name is Kevin Hench.
I was gonna say.
He's the same. And also, no arguing. There's two. I'll tell you what else the hustler does. No letter of the law. Spirit. You know, there's always the chick who runs down to first base and turns left instead of running it through and turning right, and then they tag her. Those she's out. She's I didn't know how to play. And it's like you weren't on the bag.
Like, there's a close play second, you overrun the bag because it's fucking adult softball. It's like, oh, yeah, overruns. Like, yes, we know.
But also,
I'm not that guy.
I'm
not that. I'm the guy that sits on the bench and then looks into the stands and goes, tonight's attendance 2. I'm that guy.
Who are the people? And then there's this one too. Anyone who's done like the office softball game, like we used to do the Man Show softball game and everything. Who is the 35-year-old straight white dude who doesn't know that you can run through first base?
Oh, like stops on first.
It's like he hits one to the shortstop and he's running it and he's like slows down and puts it, and you're like, dude, you would have beat the throw if you just ran through. It's like I don't know.
I think.
Do you have a TV set?
Have you seen America's Pastime?
Have you ever seen anyone try to do what you do at a high level?
I think your biggest mistake is you put straight in that conversation. He may be trying to pull it off, but there's just no way.
Yeah. Good point.
It's a similar situation. I don't know the last time you guys played poker with your buddies, but like you have to kind of
I lose my money. I hate it.
Well, I'm saying you have the same way you have to figure out like, oh, are we like playing for real? Like, are you trying to win money here, or are we just having a good time and drinking beers? Because I'll check raise all day, or I'll not be a dick, and we'll just hang out and have fun.
This is what, when I used to play, I don't want to play with Danny Two Sheets Kellison anymore, because he'd do this thing where it's like, oh, it'll just be a $3 raise, but he'd do it 72 times in one hand, and then it was like the pot's got $800 in it. Awesome. $3 at a time, but we're still arriving at the same place.
Pre-flop raise
out of a bunch of money.
That's great. I'm just going to do it this way. I'm just going to pretend I'm not raising. And I'm raising.
It's also...
I like the names of the games, like Follow the Bitch and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah. You have to, after a queen, you have to put something down. Like that one.
Yeah, you can play all sorts of parlor games.
Yeah, it's never just poker. It's like that one guy that always shows up.
Play the Iron Cross.
Yeah. I used to do this with my uncle before I got molested.
I think poker is sort of like attorneys. They like their names for everything, so we can kind of go, that guy knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah. I'm a bad poker player, but I'll go terminology on your ass all day long.
Right, which thus makes you superior.
That's right.
He knows all the names.
Yeah.
Pai Gow.
Pai Gow is a game of poker.
It is a game of poker.
Especially in Southern California.
Oh, yes.
A lot of Pai Gow.
You ever get down to Gardena and play at the...
The bike?
The bicycle.
Is it the bike? Well, people call it the bike.
The bicycle
It is the
club?
bicycle.
What's the other one?
Hawaiian Gardens?
Well,
there is. I'm going back. I have to go back to
Hollywood
my
Park, of course.
junior high days or grade school days when I used to watch the pan poker and Keno Society of Gardena welcoming you to Gardena.
Wow.
It was a local ad. So the local ad.
Wow.
They must have. I think you can find, or maybe the internet's fucked up.
I've
The
played
point is
Keno
this.
before.
It's boring bingo.
I've told you this a million times. It made me laugh when I was 11. I watched TV. Gardena is a shithole. I went to Gardena. Gardena could probably be like Hawaiian Gardens
right.
in that they should be sued for the
having
name.
garden in the
people,
name.
people are from Indiana want to move out to L.A.
Gardena.
Hawaiian Gardens or Gardena? Like, okay. Or Panorama City. Now,
The sweeping views.
I know the word Encino means nothing to you, but move that.
Yeah.
Harbor City. Wow.
Hollywood is another one. It's a trickery.
That's right.
So the Gardena. So I ended up building a decorative box factory. I rebuilt a decorative box factory in Gardena
Worst
for a
sentence
job
ever.
when I was, like 28 or something. It was a horrible job, but it's way out there.
Like Agent's threat.
Yeah.
It's scary. It's a kind of neighborhood where at any given gas station, someone will be selling something other than gas on the property.
carts,
It's like,
yeah.
hey, I make my own barbecues with a cutting torch, and I'm selling them. Or I got pinatas, or I got towels with the
Faux bearskin rugs.
Yeah, fake lobster rolls.
Right, like it's just
Lakers t-shirt.
Yeah.
yeah, if anyone is selling something other than gas outdoors at a gas station, not keep driving.
Yeah.
So it's one of those places, and they had the bicycle club, but they had the El Dorado was one of them back then.
These are all card houses or something.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
It can't be.
And the God, the
Hustler
horseshoe.
Casino.
The horseshoe was one of them.
Gotcha.
The El Dorado. There was a few of them, and I used to watch the info commercials when I was a kid. It's like one more place we're never going. But
What's the one on the 710 too? What's that?
Commerce?
Commerce.
Yeah.
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 They used
I
to have
don't
a
know.
gig there. They used to have a gig there. It's the only gig that I ever did in LA that had an armed security guard at it. It was bizarre.
the
I love that casino.
so the commercial, the Gardena commercial. I've told you guys this before. It was an advertisement for their food.
Oh.
It was a 24-hour. You could go there and gamble and have the buffet.
Sure.
So they have some bizarre lost leader, like a 99-cent shrimp cocktail or something.
They would go. I just remember. Well, they would go. The poker. Let's see. The Poker and Keno Society of Gardena welcomes you to Gardena with the fabulous food, and then they'd go. The horseshoe. Italian cuisine, exquisite. But the greatest. I was fucking 11, and I had this. And here we go. The El Dorado. You're on the French Riviera. I swear to God, that was going on. I was 11, going, no fucking way does anyone in Gardena eating shrimp think they're on the French Riviera, and it made me laugh when I. But I realized now that I look back on it, I was thinking like a stand-up when I was 12 in North Hollywood. Like that commercial just made me like, you're on the French Riviera. French Riviera.
Sure.
Oh, my
Love to
goodness.
see that.
Anyone who's ever been to Gardena will never think they're on the French Riviera for
It's very
10 seconds.
It's very close to Long Beach. It's Gardenia. I was in one of those areas. I went to Carvana on this weekend. I don't know if you guys.
Oh,
yeah,
you're
with
buying
the
a
car.
car.
No, I sold.
Oh, you sold a car.
I don't know if you guys are selling a car, but it is fantastic to sell a car on Carvana. I was just like, okay. So you're gonna pay me $5,000 more than I thought I was gonna
Wow.
actually get for the car. Okay.
Is
all
that
right.
the place that has the big tower of
Yes.
cars?
And you use a coin to get your car.
Yeah, the
It's like a
car
vending
dispenser,
machine.
vending
Yeah.
machine. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird, right? Like
Yeah, I don't know
all
what's
the
going on.
bringing the cars to you on a flatbed
Yeah.
or getting them out of the big vending machines.
Or they'll pick up your car. You fill everything out online. They show up with a check and give you that. But
I like what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I'm just like, but I was one of those things. I'm like, I don't know what I'm joining. Like, I feel like I'm joining something because they're giving me too much money. Suddenly, I see my Vancouver Canucks sticker in the Middle East just bombing across the desert with an M60 on top. I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, there's just too much money coming out. But it was great. But it was in that area.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. I bought some flowers at the gas station before.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. It's the street is everything's available on the street now. As I've
fruit with
I've noticed.
red Tajin.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the powder. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know what was on it. I will tell you this. I would say for your average Los Angelino, they wouldn't go into a Thai restaurant that had a B health rating on it, but they would eat pineapple from fucking destinations unknown in front of a Home Depot that some guy was just whacking away with a rusty machete.
Yeah.
That's how scientific we are.
Or a candle underneath a pan with a bacon-wrapped hot dog. They'll do that no problem at all. I don't know, I got sick.
Well, that's what I always say. The craziest thing you could possibly say is, oh, the first time I had a street dog, I was so sick. There was a second time?
There's an eighth time.
Well, let's be fair. Can we be fair to these street dog people? You left the Staples Center where you drank 11 Tecatis
Right.
while watching some concert
For
or something.
over $1,000,
and then staggered out to the
That's true.
street.
And something smells good.
You could have booted anyway that night.
That's a good
you know
point.
what I'm saying?
That's a good
it's
point.
true.
Think about how pre-soaked you are. No one goes, it's noon, it's Wednesday, I'm sober, I want a street dog.
Yeah.
You're already fucked up.
You're smoking cigarettes. You usually don't smoke.
You had an edible.
Yeah.
You've had a few tall boys in the parking lot.
That's
but
true.
This is like when I used to do Loveline, when girls go, I think somebody slipped me a Mickey, or I think they roofied me or whatever. And it's like, what happened? Well, we were doing Jello shots.
I was doing kamikazes.
That was at 10 a.m. And then we switched to kamikazes. And then we started doing body shots, but I'm not sure what was in the navel. And we did that. And then at some point, I blacked out. It's like I think I was drugged. It's like,
No, you actually use booze for what it's for.
Yeah, that's right.
What's weird, though, what you guys talk about the street food, but you do this on an opposite coast, and you will eat a hot dog off a cart at noon in New York.
Yeah, that's lunch. Yeah, the lunch rush.
So it's a bizarre little twist of place again. It's soda and pop.
That's right.
Yeah.
And gyros and knishes and all the great street food in New York.
The beauty of the real delicacy is you have nuts that are warm. We are not allowed to do that. We eat cold or room temperature nuts.
Yes.
Our nuts are whatever temperature they were when they were in the can, but you guys have heated nuts.
And there might be a dash of cinnamon on it.
Yes. What is this red mystery powder that's dumped on the
Tajin,
pineapple?
right?
Tajin, yeah.
You've seen it a million
Oh,
times.
I've seen it. Yeah. What's that do? Is that
is
good?
It's
You've seen the shaker.
No, I know. I'm saying, what is tahini specifically?
It's a little spice. It's a little.
It's like paprika?
Yeah, a little.
It's paprika.
Yeah.
Or paprika, depending on.
It's a little spicy, but it's not too spicy, but it gives a little bit of flavor, almost a little bit of salt kind of thing.
It's chili lime.
Chili powder with lime.
Yeah.
Oh. I actually saw a commercial for this like yesterday, 2 days ago. So it's fresh
French
in my head.
Riviera.
We're putting it on.
It's on TV now.
We're putting it on.
They put on fruit.
Yeah.
It's like brings it out, like sweats it or something. Yeah.
When do you cut off his hair? It's got no hair.
And as Adam would say, is fruit broken?
Pineapple's not broken. That's its own.
Yeah, pineapple will do its thing.
That's its own flavor. All right, let me tell you about Caldera. Dry skin, acne scars, wrinkles, or you just want a little healthier skin. This is the product I use. The Good by Caldera Lab. Non-toxic natural serum made from 100% from plants, by the way. Named by GQ as the best natural face serum for men. For all guys and all skin types. Great with a beard or a bald head, Bald Brian. Good for the dry scalp as well. Keep it shiny and moisturized. Caldera Labs believes you shouldn't have to decide between clean, sustainable ingredients and real results. Simply apply to the dry skin, and it works so nicely. It smells good, too. Try it 100% risk-free. If you don't love it, they'll refund your money in full. Right, Dawson?
Special order for the Adam Carolla Show audience. 20% off your first Caldera Lab purchase of The Good. Go to calderalab.com/Adam. That's CALDERALAB.com, or use discount code Adam at checkout.
All right. Should we take a break and come back and do the news with Ian and company?
Give me the news with Grad. News with Gina Grad. Breaking, viral, weird crime, protest, politics. Give me news with Gina Grad. Stuff they saw on TMZ. Joe Biden. Carolla. Beat news with Gina
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, we have some breaking news that just came across the wire, aka my phone notifications in the last few minutes. Bill and Melinda Gates, some trouble in paradise. They are divorcing.
Oh, he
after
chipped her.
27 years of marriage. So
Yeah.
between Bezos and Gates, a couple of bachelors. So
A
they're
couple of available ladies out there worth about $1 billion
That's exactly
combined.
right. This is their joint statement they just made. Said, over the last 27 years, we've raised 3 incredible children, built a foundation that works all over the world.
The problem is they have 4 kids. So one of them,
one of them's a
you know who you are. 3 are incredible.
We have 3 incredible children.
Then there's Jeremy.
No. It all comes out in the wash.
Jeremy Gates.
We continue to. Who is that comedian that was talking about Jesus' brother? That's right. I'm Bob Christ. Who was? God, that was so funny. Anyway,
Come on, that guy was an only child. There's no way you have that attitude.
We continue to share a belief in that mission. Okay, so this is all
Why are they
bullshit.
sharing things then?
Well,
like if they're breaking up, they should have individual statements.
They're pretty tangled up, I think, at
I
this
would
point in each other's business. They began dating in '87 after meeting at a New York trade show. She'd go on to work in marketing for Microsoft and be appointed as general manager of information products in the '90s. They wed in
The beauty
'94.
of guys is Bill Gates going to be banging Amber
fine.
Heard within
Yeah.
by this weekend.
Sure.
That's my plan.
And it should also say, due to Melinda's use of an iPhone.
Well, apparently they do have 3 kids, Jennifer, Rory, and Phoebe. And they reside in their huge earth-sheltered family mansion dubbed Xanadu 2.0.
They all live together?
That's what it says, overlooking Lake Washington in Medina, Washington.
Not for long. There's going to be a house built right across the way.
That's right.
With Bill looking in. Who's there?
Yeah, they've donated $28 billion to their foundation. Let's see, for instance, Gates Foundation made a contribution.
I'm going to do that thing
Yeah.
like my mom's friends would do. I don't feel sorry for either one of them.
They're laughing all the way to
They'll
the bank.
be fine. Oh, believe me. I was like the people have to believe it. Believe me, they're doing just fine.
Really?
Just fine.
Okay.
Oh, I don't
Believe me, I don't
believe
feel
you.
sorry for them.
How about the other side, though? Well, they're human, too.
Oh, yeah.
They hurt. They hurt.
Sorry to put you on the spot, Kaylin. Do we remember off the top of our heads what Bezos' worth is right now? Because I can tell you what Bill's worth is.
You mean after the divorce? I don't know either way, so I'm asking.
Well, I'm going to tell you the Gates net worth is estimated at more than $130 billion.
They're going to be just fine.
They'll be fine.
I'm going to do my mom. I'm going to skip past her friends. Does anyone need $1 billion? What would you do with it? Would you have 2 cars? How could you drive them both at once? 2 bathrooms?
Live in 2
Could you
houses
use
at once?
2 toilets at once? Like, who needs? What do you even do with that? That's like, you know how much a school teacher gets paid in Iowa? Do you know? Why don't they take some of that money? Okay, she who has never paid taxes. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I would
Okay,
like
Warren
the
Buffett.
people put in the least want to know. Can he take some of that money and just give it to some of those people?
I'm sure he does. I'm sure they have many foundations. Bezos.
Have you watched basketball? They just stand under the hoop. The tall guy just drops it into the. They're so tall, they just drop it. And one guy just stands there. Give me the ball, and he just drops it in. They're so tall.
And you know they make at least twice as much as a school teacher.
Do you know? Do you think it's right that a guy who can dribble a ball gets paid $1 billion times more than that teacher who works in the inner city and works with the special needs kids? Do you think that's right?
He only works 82 days a year.
Yeah.
Well, Bezos is worth around $200 billion, so Bill is needing to do a little catch up.
Yes.
Poor Bill.
Yeah.
Poor Bill is not worth my back.
And you do wonder, like, why? I mean, couldn't they just each move to a different point on the planet and never see each other
On the
again?
property.
They do
Yeah.
it in their house.
Yeah.
I mean, they got acreage.
Yeah. But they've made it. Do we call it Instagram official? They've made it TMZ official.
Yeah.
So that's going
Was that
on.
on TMZ?
Yeah, it was on TMZ. So we have some hot news on an update of Lady Gaga's dogs and the dog napping.
Yeah.
It has been a while. 5 people have been arrested in the connection with the shooting of Lady Gaga's dog walker and the theft of the 2 French bulldogs, according to the LAPD. 3 of the suspects were charged with armed robbery and attempted murder, which prompted Gaga to offer that $500,000 reward. And 3 of them are reportedly known gang members. But remember this random woman that brought the dogs and nobody knew?
Yeah, we
her
always knew that was
vibe?
going to be suspicious.
Yeah, she's one of the people who's been arrested. So one was,
I watched this on TMZ,
Of course.
and there's a great part where one of the guy's dads said, like, you can't bring, like... He was talking to him like he caught him smoking a cigarette in the garage. You know, hey, son, when you shoot a stranger and you steal their dog, you can't be so foolhardy to bring the dog back. Like, this is dad with his sagely wisdom. Should have got to the kid a little earlier.
Yeah.
Probably earlier.
I wonder if it's probably the same guy because so we've had 3 gang members, 1 50-year-old woman, and this other mystery man that's been arrested. He's one of their fathers.
Oh, yeah.
So it's probably him. Remember, this occurred at the end of February, and the poor little Koji and Gustav were on quite an adventure, but they've been reunited with Lady
I remember
Gaga.
when it happened because I have a French bulldog, and it was a long week because people were just eyeing me up when I was walking my dog when it was worth $500,000.
Oh, you fit the profile.
Yeah, I'm just like, whoa, he's
Canadian gangbanger.
Yeah, but you got a French bulldog. People turn that in instantly. It's a tough dog to kidnap. They're just so stubborn and farty. You ever watch that 600-pound Life and they try to get the people to go to the doctor?
Right, with the crane.
Yeah, it's the same way getting them in the car. Just nobody wants to get in the car. It's just I don't know how they kidnapped them.
When did
Very
that
angry about it.
become? God bless. I mean, they're cute as
no
a
gods.
button. But when did that become the it dog? Why all of a sudden does everyone care about French bulldogs? Like, why?
I don't know why.
I don't know. We've bred them to the extent where they have difficulty breathing, I think.
I love them.
Which we should never do with people.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be vocal about that right now.
Yeah.
You know what they're for, though?
Record.
Their French hookers had them to start conversations with this little weird dog that they had walking with them.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what I read about them.
Oh, that's great.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a satisfying answer.
Hey, that's a weird dog. Let me tell you about my dog.
Why don't you come with me and you can see my French bulldog?
Didn't Churchill have one?
He was a hooker.
I feel like we've seen those pictures.
Did he?
This is
he had an English bulldog, didn't he?
Or maybe. All right. So the deal is you can't walk around at night with a Rolex on anymore because you're going to get rolled. And you can't walk around with your dog if the dog's worth more than $500 because you're going to get rolled. Yeah.
Yeah, just hunker down.
Yeah.
So 4 people. This made national news right off our coast over here. 4 people, and that number could be rising, have reportedly died.
What is? It worries me when people have such a low threshold for shooting other people. Like, why'd you shoot that guy? You walk in and he was fucking your wife? No, I wanted his dog, and he wouldn't give it to me. So I shot him. It's like, wow,
I have a dog.
it's an interesting approach to life.
Yeah.
It's a way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty low threshold for shooting somebody.
Well, like you said, he's in the same category of the random shooter. He's just as scary.
Yeah, that is.
Sad story to tell in heaven. How'd you die? Well, I was walking my dog.
That's right.
The end.
Right.
Not even his dog. I was walking Lady Gaga's dog. I'm a dog walker.
Yeah.
For $25 an hour.
We're going to have to get into this thing now where, we used to do this thing where it's like, hey, if a guy wants your wallet, give it to him. You know what I mean? Now, if a guy wants your dog, help him load it into the car.
Go grab the dog bed from inside.
Brinks dog walking.
Yeah.
My thing with my dog, Phil, is like, you can take the dog and then you can apologize when you bring him back.
Exactly.
Because you're definitely coming back with this dog.
There's no way anybody's taking it.
I used to say that about my buddy Ray. It's the only person who had his identity stolen, and then they actually gave it back to him. They're like, this is fucking our credit score up too much. Please take it back. You're ruining our FICO score.
I can't get anything.
I can't buy anything online.
I'm trying to refi. No dice.
Yeah. Sorry.
4 people have reportedly died so far, 27 injured when a suspected smuggling boat capsized off the coast of San Diego Sunday morning. So this is a panga boat. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but it's like just these little low, sort of like outpowered.
It's a Duffy boat.
Yeah, outpowered fishing boats.
I'm glad we're now getting ahead of this smuggling thing, because a few months ago it was like 86 people died in a Suburban when it hit a pickup truck.
Right.
How the fuck were there 27 people? What do you, and of course I'm in like weird white guy land. I'm like, soccer practice? Like how many? 23 people injured in a
Girl Scout convention?
It's a 3-seat. It's got 3 rows.
Yeah. Is this a frat
I didn't know
from the
they're
50s?
clinging to the bottom side of it in a hollowed out gas tank and stuff. It's like,
if we have 4 people who've died and 27 injured, how do you fit 31 people in that boat?
well, how do you get 23 people in a Suburban?
Yeah.
I mean, the car's made to hold 8 or 9
at the most
people.
Yeah.
And again, I'm doing like San Diego out on a boat. These guys were fishing. They drank too much.
So I live in Long Beach, and I live on the beach there. And one day there was a boat just came flying into the beach, and 60 people came flying off the boat, and there was cops and immigration everywhere, and they were chasing them. They got some of them. They didn't get any of them. So it happens all the time, apparently.
Wow.
And you didn't help.
I was just like, I was in weird white guy heaven. I'm like, well, look at California sneaking up on these people.
He was holding his dog for dear life.
I'm like, where are they coming from? They're gonna run into the. So, yeah,
we had that weird thing with Cubans in Florida.
Yeah. Tires
like ollie oxen free. Like if you get 1 foot on the dry land, it's just kind of a weird pitch.
Was that just for Cuba though? Because it's not the same, right? It's not. Is it?
Well, it's the closest. I mean, it's not that far away. How many miles is it from the southernmost tip of Florida?
To Cuba?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not that much.
It's 90 miles for some reason. I think it's 90 miles from Cuba to
But the
Florida
touch thing, if you touch American ground, you're safe. Was that just for Cubans, or was that?
I think it was just for Cubans.
Must have been a refugee thing.
Yeah.
But it's also weird because there's like
I remember
there's like footage of cops in knee deep water and guys like trying to give them a head fake and do a shoulder roll and
for the beach.
It's a weird policy. Is what I'm saying. If you can touch U.S. soil, you can stay. Like I would just go. You can't come here, or you can come here. It's not turning to see who's fittest.
Pick and roll.
All right, fat cops. We don't need you at the beach. You don't want to be there anyways. You look like shit.
Wearing pants.
We need the guys who played ball at junior college, like the guys who played
Water polo players.
Yeah, look, we need some guys who can swim, who can backpedal. Shut a window on one of these guys.
Shut a window. It was weird though. It was like a football game without any football. They were just trying to get onto the beach and touch it.
Yeah,
they're lovely people.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've been through that much.
Is Florida 90?
90, you're right.
90.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
90 degrees and 90 miles away.
Elliot Page, in his first interview.
Oh.
Elliot Page talked about his difficult journey coming out as transgender and the relief he's felt since. And just in case that name sounds familiar, we're talking about formerly Ellen Page. We're now referring to Elliot Page. That a chat aired Friday on Apple TV Plus with Oprah, of course, called The Oprah Conversation.
I'd like to treat this transgender celebrity thing like the Supreme Court, which is essentially if Ellen Page is going to become Elliot Page, she can only do that if she can convince a male celebrity to turn into a female. Like I want to need the same amount of celebrities. You know what I mean? Like if you can get Andy Dick to cross over, then you can go ahead. But if you can't convince him, or somebody else.
Okay.
You know what I
It
mean?
has to be a celebrity of equal stature or approximately.
It'd be nice. And then we'd still have the same number
Well, he's not a dictator, Brian.
of male and female celebrities.
Right.
You
It's
see
important.
what I'm saying here?
I could see how you would lose sleep thinking about there being too many of one gender versus the other.
Well, imagine if it keeps going.
Yeah.
Then
Slippery
it's all
slope.
dudes.
Yeah. What are we to
And
do?
then who's going to play the wife in the sitcom?
Right.
Oh man,
another dude?
You're just asking.
I'm just asking. I'm saying.
Just questions.
Yeah, just you have to convince someone else to cross over, but they have to go the other direction.
I don't think that came up in the Oprah interview this time.
Well, then Oprah wasn't doing her job.
You're probably right.
Never is.
Page, who recently announced that he's had top surgery, told Oprah how he now feels more like himself. Here's an audio clip.
Top surgery.
What part of your
Hold on. Top surgery just sounds like a plastic surgeon in Reno. You know what I mean? Top surgery. He'd had a big top hat. You know what I mean? Stretch marks.
Come to
acne
top
scars.
surgery.
Come to top surgery.
That's the doctor.
Sorry. Top surgery. Sorry. Here we go.
What part of your transition has actually brought you the most joy?
Goodness, what has brought me the most joy? The most joy. It's, getting out of the shower and the towels around your waist and you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're just like, there I am.
You can do that, Gina, right?
Put the towel around my waist?
Go, there I am.
I mean, I could, but I'd be talking about a lot more of me than Elliot is.
Yeah.
I can't imagine going through that struggle and picking Elliot as the name.
Maybe
You know?
it sounds
It's a short leap from Ellen.
Yeah, there's no short leap going on there. You can go with a longer name,
Although-
better name.
I did see a quote from the interview saying that Elliot used to write love letters and sign them Jason. So I think he's
go with Jason.
He's considered a few different names.
That was always my thing when they'd go, well, now Brenda's going to become Brad. I'm like, you can pick a new name.
Yeah.
You don't have to pick something that starts with the
Right.
same first two letters.
Caitlyn Jenner.
By the way, you've committed to removing your tits surgically. You're all in here. Like, let's just
By all means.
Let's go. Let's go
Go with
last
middle name
5
surgery
yards.
as well.
Are there two more different names than Bruce and Caitlyn?
No.
That is the ultimate of each gender.
But he had to get the K in because the Kardashian.
I think it's
Is that?
Caitlin's
for the
with a
show.
C.
Oh, he does it with a C? Oh, but he didn't do it. Like, how the Kardashians do
Yes.
C names with Ks?
Yes.
Yeah, Courtney and Chloe.
Oh, he didn't.
No.
He went with
Well,
the
he's
C.
a Jenner, so why would he?
I don't know. I'm confused. This is a really confusing period for me. With
tell
all
it's
these
a lot of
celebrities.
struggle.
I'm happy for everybody. Smiles,
me
everyone.
too.
Smiles.
Oh, they'll be fine. Trust me.
They're going to be
They're laughing all the way to the bank.
He's got that Juno money.
No, what I'm saying with Bruce, with Bruce, going with Caitlyn, it's a perfect time to pick a C name and then spell
K.
it with a K,
Right.
To stay on
because
brand
you're
with the
staying
family.
on
Yeah,
brand with
that's
everyone
true.
else, and the fact that you
Maybe that was the fingers up.
is it
Yeah.
a F you to pick a C name and
Chris.
stay
Maybe
with
it
the
is.
C name?
Yeah, maybe
because
to Chris.
even his daughters that are Jenners, Kylie and Kendall,
Kendall.
are K's.
Right.
No.
All
It's
right.
a
Really
little
interesting
bit of
stuff.
catastrophe. Catastrophe.
Yeah. So maybe I just thought he was doing it that way, but is
No,
it a?
I think
is
it's
it
a
a
C.
FU?
It is for
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
Could have went with Geraldine.
second choice.
Well, that's the
Guys, we're having
ultimate. That's when Flip Wilson became a
That's
woman.
right.
That's right. Geraldine Jenner.
What would pass for entertainment?
God, you guys were starving.
Oh my God, Medea has nothing on
Medea.
Geraldine. Oh, Geraldine was the first.
Yeah.
The ultimate.
We've watched some Geraldine, and it is offensive.
Sassy woman of
Yes.
color. Mm-hmm.
Sassy.
So this story is just a little way for me to give you a little more trivia about people who've done similar things.
Oh, we have information on Cubans setting foot and getting to stay.
Yeah, it was called the wet feet, dry feet policy. It started with the Cuban Adjustment Act of 1966. That essentially says that anyone who emigrated from Cuba and entered the United States would be allowed to pursue residency. And prior to 95, that include U.S. territorial waters. But then the Clinton administration changed it to they need to set foot on land. And then the Obama administration in 2017 ended the policy entirely.
You travel
You don't hear
90
about that.
miles in a truck inner tube, and it comes down to 3 seconds
Yeah.
of seeing if you can dodge a Dade County cop in shorts on the beat.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Or you're going back.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's a little. What was that Schwarzenegger movie? A little Running Man-ish.
Yeah. I would probably do like a Walter Payton, Matsui kind of thing. Like
Sure.
I'd be talking the fat guy on the inner tube raft. Like, come on, let's face it, you're not juking anybody.
Take one for the
you go
team.
first.
You're not even getting out of that tube.
You go through the a-hole. I'll cut right off your block. You take
One
that
of
guy
us,
out. and
statistically.
I'll get there, and then when I get settled, I'll send for you.
That's actually a great idea. Like the one guy's in the tube and people are bouncing off him. That gets more room for everybody else to get
Yeah.
in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I'm going to call Cuba.
How many of us knew until Kaylin said it just now that the Obama administration canceled that program entirely?
I didn't know that.
These
Makes
are not
sense.
things that come up very often.
It makes it's a
Sound
weird
like a bit of a perverted policy.
It's a weird policy.
It's a weird. Yeah.
I mean, have a policy, but let's not base it on how nimble, emaciated
How
you
fleet
are after a journey.
Exactly.
That's a good point.
I mean, your fucking blood sugar's got to be through the fucking basement after 90 miles in an air tube.
Yeah.
I take a
What about
helicopter
floating
to
a trebuchet?
Yeah.
Just fling them.
Yeah.
Is that where Ellen got her idea for her show with Wipeout? Is it like
Oh, yeah. Very dark past that TV show. Oakland A's starting pitcher Jesus Luzardo is going to miss some time with an injury because he broke his pinky finger. How did he do that? He was playing video games too vigorously. He's a 23-year-old lefty, and
I hear beating off.
that's probably what
This
happened.
happened to some
Hard finger
notable
banging.
athlete, like in the late 90s.
Well, I have this odd list of other reasons baseball players have missed games. These injuries are pretty amazing. Orioles outfielder Marty Cordova once missed some time because he got burned in a tanning bed. Hall of Famer Wade Boggs had to sit out a few games after he hurt his back trying to put on his cowboy boots. Ernie Camacho, he was a reliever who spent most of his career with the Indians in the 80s. He sat out a few games due to elbow pain he suffered after signing too many autographs at a charity event. Ricky Henderson missed several games in August due to frostbite. And Mets outfielder Jonas, am I saying this right? Cespedes fractured his ankle running away from a wild boar on his ranch.
A wild boar.
Yeah.
So the rule should be during the season you can only play video games with your offhand, like your bat, your mitt hand.
Yeah.
That would be
Non-dominant.
add a challenge.
I think we'll have to.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be missed.
So TMZ reports that Charles Manson's original booking sheet following his arrest is up for auction. Do we think this is cool because it's auction related? Is this disgusting because it's up for sale for about $95,000? The booking docs are 2 pages long and list Manson's physical details along with his hometown, Cincinnati.
5'7", 140.
That's what they say. His address, transient. His occupation, musician. And the fact that he was arrested for robbery and homicide, was facing 7 counts of murder. The form is dated December 9th, 1969, a few months after Manson's followers killed Sharon Tate and 6 others in L.A. And the second page includes 2 of Manson's fingerprints.
This
for $100,000, yeah.
All right. Now, we've talked about what's worse, and the dating. The guy picks you up on the date's got the Uber sticker on the car.
Yeah.
Or the Ralph's Club lanyard on the keychain.
That's right.
All right, you got to pick.
Tough putt.
Now, this.
Yeah.
You're dating a guy. He's got Charlie Manson's, booking paper. He's got it framed in lucite. It's in his house. Now, let me make an argument for it.
Okay.
This guy's got $100,000 laying
He's a
around
wealthy
to
man.
burn on nothing.
Yeah, he doesn't have a Ralph's key.
Yeah, no Ralph's key there. Morbid curiosity, but also suggests that he's a free spirit.
Yeah.
Knowledgeable of history.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. This is the same. I would liken this to somebody who collects like Nazi memorabilia. Even if it's because like we won and fuck them.
Yeah.
They do too much kinky shit in like the bedroom, and you probably don't know how to open their doors. Like they probably into
a
like
one-way
some
lock.
Army Hammer vibe. I couldn't do it. I think this is a.
You think this guy, the person that buys this, is kinky? You think?
Yeah, I think this
Really?
is where there's smoke, there's fire. A guy who would buy this and put it in lucite is into shit that like you might not agree to.
I say,
and you're not
shit.
going to be able to get out.
Key word was shit.
Yeah.
And what if he, soft pedaled it a little bit? Like, what if he just went, look, Kanye West's shoe sold for 1.8.
No.
That thing sold at a previous auction house for $400K 6 years earlier. This is
an
investment in our
investor.
future,
Right.
sweetie.
In our future.
Yeah, and we're gonna have kids. Then they're gonna need to go to college.
Right.
$50,000 a year.
Sure.
Our kids Squeaky and Charlie.
That's right.
Squeaky. Yeah, I think if it was a true investment, it would be like, all right, this is like fifth date stuff. In my safe deposit box, I have Charles Manson's booking papers. But if you're putting that shit in Lucite, you're a weirdo.
All right, let's remove the lucite.
Okay, because that's too pronged to me. The showing it off.
He possessed it. Yeah.
All of a sudden, now it seems kind of cool.
It's a turn on.
Bad boy.
If it's in lucite, what else do you think he has in the house?
He's like a Patrick Bateman fucking weirdo. Like he's an American Psycho. But if it's like his little secret, I kind of like that.
I got the hubs from the Ryder truck that Timothy McVeigh blew up in front of the in front of the Oklahoma City courthouse.
Some storage
plants in the
unit
some of those, yeah.
in Panorama
They
City.
found them 7 miles away.
Ooh,
Really?
is it warm in here?
Want to see that?
I need a mop.
Yeah. Yeah,
Gross.
I have a cipher from the who's the guy to the Zodiac killer?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of
Well, listen, it's all morbid and weird, but the way things are trending, well, first things first. You put your money in the bank, we do the whole stimulus thing and the green thing and the save America thing, and the money in your bank's not worth shit anymore.
No, you're
we're
right.
flooding the system.
You're right.
All these like tangible things are going up. People are buying all this fungible.
And I just realized what a raving hypocrite I am, and I can't believe you didn't call me out on this.
I was thinking it.
Okay, because think of women of my ilk, and some are way more in it to me than me. They are obsessed with true crime podcasts. They go to true crime conventions.
Right.
They do treat these people like celebrities.
Manson's the Godfather.
Right, and yet this is totally a non-starter for me.
Jenny, you like my dog? Mm-hmm. It's the son of Sam's. Told him to kill him.
Right. All right, let's do one more.
Okay. So we know that the Disneyland has been closed for a while. It's now open back up. I've been trying to find out if indoor rides are open. I don't know if that, I didn't think so. Like Pirates of the Caribbean, Space Mountain.
Open.
I think they are. I know for a fact there are no characters because Tessa's all like, when do you get to meet Peter Pan? It's like,
wait, how can you be safer? You're physically in a head. Okay. So a revamped.
I thought there was no rides.
No, I thought there was no indoor rides. They don't want people crammed together inside. But all the
I know you're not allowed to make any noise there.
Oh yeah, you can't scream.
So how?
Oh wait, I saw a story that they're taking pictures inside a Space Mountain with like not infrared, but like some sort of night vision pictures to make sure people are wearing their masks.
Oh god.
So I know for a fact they're doing some.
Okay, well that's good to know. A revamped version of Disneyland's Snow White ride is drawing some backlash for portraying the true love's kiss scene, which critics say undermines lessons about consent by portraying the prince's kiss.
Wait, she was unconscious.
That's exactly their point, Brian.
Apple.
You can't consent when you're unconscious. What was your high school like? So previously, the ride focused on the Wicked Queen, and it was known as Snow White's Scary Journey, which I was petrified of as a kid, so they did a great job. But the updated ride takes a more lighthearted approach and features fresh animatronics, new scenes, and the ride culminates in the True Love's Kiss scene, where the prince, believing she's dead, kisses her, breaking the queen's curse. And guess who's mad? The San Francisco Gate, the SF Gate. They published a piece saying, quote, a kiss he gives to her without her consent while she's asleep cannot possibly be true love if only one person knows it's happening. Haven't we already agreed that consent in early Disney movies is a major issue? That teaching kids that kissing when it hasn't been established if both parties are willing to engage is not okay?
This is satire.
Hold on. SF Gate, Brian. Why not reimagine an ending in keeping with the spirit of the movie and Snow White's place in Disney canon, but that avoids being problematic?
That's right. Leave her asleep.
I was going to say, I'd fall in love with someone who rescued me from being dead.
Well, also, do we need to reimagine shit that has been imagined already? Like, I get reimagining police forces, but this is imagination. I mean, we're now getting redundant with our reimagining things. I saw a story. We were talking about the Jeopardy guy who gave the three fingers,
the white power
whatever.
Symbol.
There's another story about some guy who worked for the San Diego Power Company, or maybe it was even the Long Beach Power Company. he's a Mexican guy, and he had his hand out the window, and he was doing the okay thing, or he says he was cracking his knuckles or something, and someone took a picture of it, and they fired him.
But I think racist.
Yeah, I would. Well, he was.
I'm joking.
Yeah, he's Hispanic, which is weird, but anyway. But also, I always wonder where the energy comes from. Like, could you imagine? Like, oh, that guy hung his. You're gonna take a picture of his hand, and we're gonna get him fired. And that is the booger flick move too.
Right,
yeah.
Well, and that's the thing I don't understand, because we've talked about like the movie Frozen, that like bucks all the stereotypes. Like, spoiler if you haven't seen it, but like the end, the true love's kiss isn't the guy that is in love with her. It's her sister. That's the true love. And it's like, wow, okay, that's a good marker of where we are now. This Snow White is a good marker of where we were then.
Right. Yeah. It's weird. It's also it's kind of like saying well, here the guy got fired. I don't know how you fire
Looks like he's
someone.
doing the quiet coyote symbol for little kids when you want them to stop talking.
He looks like he's doing that thing when you've been kidnapped.
Oh, right.
That's what
There's a kidnap thing?
Yes, it's you put your thumb across your palm and you close your fingers, and that indicates to like the person like, come save me, I'm being kidnapped.
Oh, I thought it was running naked in the streets screaming with duct
Get me
tape
out of
He's
here.
coming
hanging
to
off
get me.
hanging off of one ear.
Oh, there's that one too.
There's that one too. What's a better indicator?
I'm watching a lot of Law and Order.
Which of those people, if they were Cuban, would get to America?
That's a very
This
good
one?
Right.
He says he was cracking his knuckles. It doesn't matter. The point is, it's unprovable. That's the whole point. Whatever he was doing, it's not provable.
It's not like they found his membership card to the Klan.
Right. What's the "I've been kidnapped" sign again?
You put your I think this is it. You put your thumb over your palm, like put it over your hand, and then the second part is you close your fingers, like you're being like kidnapped.
What percentage of Americans can read that?
Nobody. I think it's a newer thing. At least I've been seeing it more. Otherwise, I've never heard of it. But it was like a Facebook thing, and you put your if you open the door and someone has a gun to your head and someone's like, "Are you okay?" You're like, "Yeah, I'm great. Why do you ask?" But we're all supposed to know that that's the symbol.
Right. When you first see it, you think you're being tricked by some crazy QAnon thing. You're like, "Oh, put it this, and you do this, and then they'll
And look, I got your thumb.
Yeah. Like what?
Every single cop show I ever saw when I was a kid had that scene where the guys with the gun was like in the apartment, and there'd be a knock on the door, and he'd go like, "Okay, go ahead and answer, but don't
you scream.
Don't do anything stupid." It's like, well, I would argue running away wouldn't be stupid. It'd be like the most pragmatic thing you could, not telling the person there was a guy with a gun and then closing the door. That's would
dumb.
be. I'd like. We have to define. Don't do anything stupid.
Stupid to which one of us?
Yeah,
You know what?
Smart to me.
Run out.
You know what movie had a great scene with that, despite being 30 years late? Panic Room. Had a great scene where the cops came to the door and Jodie Foster had to lie and tell them everything goes okay because the guy upstairs had the gun to the. It was a great scene.
You know, it's always funny too. I'm a horrible movie goer because it'll be 21 minutes in the movie, and I was like, I hope the cops figure it out now. Yeah, but then there'd be no more movie. And by the way, stop hoping they're going to do it because they're not. Because we have another 67 minutes.
We're still in Act 1
to go here.
That's how you watch movies by your watch.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. We
they're
got
not
some more
gonna
time.
And I don't recognize either one of those cops. So they're day.
They're not important.
That's right.
Day traders. Day players. They're not going to take over this movie.
Yeah, they're under fives.
All right, they've been Taft-Hartley.
Yep.
We know too much about the industry,
That's
Gina.
true.
All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
I'm tired of fucking your fat pussy.
Oh.
Gina
Aggressive.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Ian Bagg.
Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
You really saw a bunch of illegals. I don't know what we're allowed to call them anymore.
Undocumented swimmers.
I think
Undocumented swimmers.
from what I heard from the neighbors, they're all North Koreans as well. That was the word I was told.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and I'm not kidding. And the weird part about it, it's like was a year after a boat had run into the beach, but they were having sex downstairs and didn't realize that they were running into the beach.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden there's other boat, and I'm just like, is this guy going to run into it? No, he's running into it.
That's the whole spectrum of boating.
Yeah.
Wow, Koreans.
That's you
Yeah.
got to help those people. Oh
What?
my God, you.
Why do
Ian,
I?
You must.
I was just like,
we have to. If North Koreans got here and made it, we have to. I hope.
This is the beginning of a sitcom. Ian and the Koreans. It's like they run in your home, and you're like, "What the hell's going on?" But they immediately start cleaning.
I can't keep all of you.
They're making you food, and you're like, "Well, I guess you can stay one night."
Brian, get ready for that. Aw, kimchi again.
You guys don't know anything about hockey.
Nothing. Oh my goodness. Oh, we're teach them though. We're gonna have maybe that's it. Maybe I turn them into a hockey team.
Oh wow,
Mighty
Ducks.
It's the new Mighty Ducks,
Yeah.
right? I need a North Korean name instead of Ducks. And they'd be the Mighty.
Long Duck Dongs.
The Long Duck
Brian.
Longs.
We can't say that, can we?
Yeah, it's a great movie.
All right, we'll beat that out after the show. First, I'll tell you about Solo Stove. Oh, springtime is here. Perfect for camping, hiking, grilling, and weather. Here's another reason to love spring. Solo Stove is offering a free fire pit stand with the purchase of any smokeless fire pit during their spring sale. This is such a nice piece. They gave me one of these things a while back, and I use it. I put it in the backyard. It's a stainless steel. It's beautiful. The stands let the cool air pass under the pit to protect the wood from composite decking, and not, you don't want to burn up the composite decking, so it gets the heat up off the deck there. It is a really nice piece, engineered for adventure, stainless steel, durable construction, portable design, efficient, low maintenance, and virtually smokeless. Easily lit with a few bits and of starter, and blaze is going on in minutes. Lifetime warranty and a 30-day free return policy. It is Solo Stove, right, Dawson?
Make this spring one to remember with a smokeless fire pit from Solo Stove and get a free stand with any purchase of a fire pit. Just use our promo code ADAM at checkout. That's solostove.com, promo code ADAM.
All right. You can find Ian Bagg down last Friday of every month, Desert Pines Golf Course. You don't want to pay for a ticket? Get on the roof of the 7-Eleven. Check it out. It's outside Hole 1, and the podcast Around the Bag available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. Always fun, Ian Bagg.
Thanks for having me.
And you can go to AdamCarolla.com. Live shows everywhere, traveling around. We're going to be in Wisconsin. We're going to be at Jam in the Van out in Los Angeles. Crank Yankers premieres. Oh, tomorrow, 10:30 on Comedy Central. Crank Yankers coming back. And until next time, I'm Carolla for Ian Bagg and Gina Grant and Bob Bryan. Say it. Mahalo. I need a fucking hit of cocaine right now.